right, so we're just going to brainstorm some approach ideas, specifically gearing up for the special event that's coming up on Friday, and this can obviously be utilized for future events and future tours and meetings. So Jama is here with me. We're just going to brainstorm some ideas. We have Mohammed and Hamdi and Naimo. We're just brainstorming some ideas, developing a script, and talking about prospecting and approaching and inviting people to our events. So Jama, please take it away. What do you share? How do you invite? What works for you?
Yeah, mostly I call them, and unfortunately, some of my friends or some of the people I'm inviting, they take like about 20, 30 minutes or over sometimes because they keep asking me questions. But sometimes if I want to skip from that, them holding me, I just go like, hey, how's your timing on the next week? Do you have a time on Friday? Are you busy? Are you working? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it should be all right, something like that. And I say like, okay, I've got this event coming, online business. I know you've been looking for this, and I know you've been working for so long time, and we're same boat. And I want to get, you know, um, ideas from you. Some of them I just, invite them like I want to hear the opinion on this business. So
Yeah.
I asked them, okay, I would like you to listen this with me, and it's gonna go maybe 1 hour or less, or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
would you like to join us this
And
time?
then, so what do they say from there? They're like, well, what is it? Tell me about it. Do you get stuck on
Yeah,
the?
yeah. Like 99% they'll say what it is. Sometimes someone says, I had last week, I had a friend, like they say, okay, okay. And then after 5 minutes, they call me back. Hey, can you explain what are you talking about before? You know? But when they do that, I tell them, look, I'm busy now, and because I'm not the right person to explain, we'll
Mm-hmm.
have like someone who has been in the business for a long time, someone who has experience, and that's what I'm looking forward to hear on Friday.
Yeah,
And we
that's
all
exact. That's a
listen the
perfect way to you kind of just deflect it a little bit, right?
yeah.
And you can always start off your call by saying, "Hey, listen, I only have a couple minutes, but I had to give you a call to share this with you because it's timely, and I'm really excited. What are you doing Friday? Are you free Friday? Right? Just like you said." And I think your response when they ask questions or they call you back is exactly the right way to do it. You're just kind of politely deflecting them. Like, that's the whole reason why we're having this event on Friday is for you to see it the same way I saw it, for you to, hear it firsthand. And you won't be disappointed because the guest that is there to present is actually part of our corporate team. She's the brains and beauty behind developing our products, and it's going to be amazing, right? So just like
Definitely.
kind of deflect the question. And then you could say something as well, like if you have questions after, like let's hop on a call after the meeting, and I'll make sure that I answer all your questions for you. Then that way you're leading them to the three-way call. You're leading them to the next step to get their questions answered. Because you're right. If someone asks what it is, I don't know, then you end up spending 30 minutes like on the phone each time, and that's not it's not a productive use of time, right? And also it shows the system, right? By doing it that way, it's like invite, come and get the information, then we can answer your questions. It shows them that there's a system that they don't need to be able to answer all the questions themselves, right?
Yeah.
Because that's one thing, when people look at the business, they look at what is the business and can I do it. So if they see you just on the phone for half an hour explaining the business, they're like, I don't think I can do that. Like, a lot of people would have that in their mind, right? So that's why, hey, get the information the same way as I did. You're going to hear it right from our corporate team. I'm super excited. I can't wait to have you there.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And some people, like I use them like I want to hear the opinion, you know?
Yes.
I've been doing research. I just joined this business, but I still am learning. So I want you to listen and give me some ideas as well. So,
Yeah, I love
respect,
that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love asking for their opinion, especially that line works really well for people that, you know, if there's someone that you really, that you respect, that you admire,
Yes.
or they're in business already, or
Yes.
I mean, it could work for anybody because people want to know that their opinion is valued. So it kind of, for lack of a better term, like kind of strokes the ego a little bit. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll be there. I can share, right? I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah.
So I love that. I think it's great. It's
Yeah.
because then,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Those people who I kind of respect or respect me, that's the people I use. So some my friends I just go like, hey, look, I know you've been looking for this and you tired of working full time, 9 to 5, you know? I know you
yeah,
want to raise your kids, do this. Okay, I know you've been locked down for, for because of the COVID, you know? You want to get out of
yeah.
this one. Let's do this, you know? I have got what you've been looking
I
for.
found
So
what
let's,
we've been looking for. Yeah, exactly. So
yes,
if you know your prospect's pain point, then you can call it right in the conversation, just like Gemma said. If you already know that they want more time with their kids or they're looking for a way to make money online or XYZ, then you can call that. If you don't know what their pain is, that's part of building rapport and the like and trust, right? When if you're talking to people that you don't know as well or whatever, then it's discovering what that pain is and then
yeah,
positioning what we have as a solution to that.
right.
So that is perfect. Yes, Hamdi, please feel free to share a little bit as well. I'm loving this conversation.
Yeah, well, to me, when I share with my friends or with anyone, no matter whether they're my friend, family, whoever, everybody said like the way I approach is different. Like example, I'll just use one or two examples. Um, I was calling one of my one family friend that I knew, so I was like, I heard your friend, her name, blah blah, not in the country. She went overseas and she moved. And she's like, yeah, she did. And I was like, yeah, wow, that's good. That's really good. And she was like, yeah, I'm about to move too. And I was like, wow, that's even amazing. Like, tell me about it. That was like what I want to do in the future. Did you open a business down there, or what's going on? How you want to move? Because if you want to move for good, um, well, you must have something. And she was like, no, I'm actually planning to open a business, and yeah, and I bought a house, blah blah blah. So I was like, wow, that's very interesting. I love the business part, because I'm actually in a business at the moment. So can you tell me like what kind of business you want to open or something like that? They're like, yeah, that, and I was like, okay, let me share mine. Um, I've got a business that I recently, few months, like I think few months now, joined. It's so amazing. I love it, love it. I'm not a person that used to love online businessing, but hey, this one, wherever you move, where like no matter what, all you need is the internet. As long as you have internet, you're good to go. You can make money. You can. This is like beauty, health, money, everything in there. So if you would like to learn more, you free this Friday or that time from that time. And she was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, yeah, how about if you join with us, the business presentation, um, whatever language you like, English, Somali, whatever language you're comfortable with, it's there. So she was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I will. So that one sample, the other samples, uh, um, one of the girls that I knew ages ago, I was just checking on my phone, and then I found her number. I was like, oh my God, hey, it's been a long time. Um, the reason I call you is I know you're a very active girl. I know you know your way. I know you work like most of the time. I know you're very busy, and the reason I call is I am actually in a business, and I know because you are a very active girl, I know you can do this. And Sharon's caring, eh? And then she was like, yeah. Tell me about it. And I was like, yeah, this business. Do you have a time on Friday at that time? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, how about if you come and listen? The business, it's really good. It suits you, and you won't regret it. So that's some sort of samples that I was using.
I love it. So in both examples, and this is like, you bring up a great point, Hemdi. It depends on who you're talking to with what you will say, right? Because you know your people best in terms of what is present in their lives and what they could be looking for, might be looking for. So however you open that door, and in those examples that Hamdi gave, she knew what to position in order to open the door. And then you'll get the what is it, and like, well, hey, you got to come on Friday to hear more, right? So those are really great examples of how to do that. And again, you're excited. It's like, hey, you ask a question, right? You ask a question. If you already know their pain point, ask a question like, and it could be something as simple as like, are you open to opportunities, right? Like if you're open to opportunities, or I don't know. I think the focus for inviting to the special event is just like, hey, I think the best strategy is just share your excitement. We have a special guest all the way from Canada. She is part of the corporate team. She's actually the designer of all of the products. We're super excited to host her, and I would love to have you as my guest. Like, and come and listen, and come and hear about what we're up to, and what we have going on, and just keep it open, right? Because the special event, it's like, you're just building excitement around that, and just getting, the focus is really to get as many people on the call as possible. If you're doing prospecting generally, I ask people if they're open, because some people are not. But if you're sharing your excitement and you're just like, you have to be there, right? Like, you need to be there as my guest. Like, it's like an all or nothing, right? You're kind of positioning it as that, and just the excitement makes all of the difference for sure in how that is received. So sorry, I got distracted. I was typing out one. We have a special event this Friday with their senior vice president all the way from Canada. She's the brains and beauties behind our product development, and we are so excited to have her with us. Are you free on Friday? Can I mark you down to be my guest, right? Simple. We are so excited to have her with us. Are you free this Friday evening? Naimo, please feel free to share.
I'll just let you finish typing. I don't want to distract.
I can't type and talk at the same time. It's a real struggle.
No, I can wait for you. It's fine.
Go ahead, my dear.
Okay. So I just pretty much what Hamdi and Jamat said. So since we have been talking so far to our friends and family, and because you know these people, then you have to kind of approach them in different ways, right? So I've used also that bit of pinpointing. So like when I'm talking to a female friend who has kids, then I would say, I think you are, I know you are someone who's active, social, have a lot of friends. You want to spend more time with your kids and work from home. This is, I think, is a great opportunity for you. So that's something I do as well. I also share. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, my dear.
Okay. Yeah, I also share just, about the products as well, because, like if you like if you like the products, then you're gonna like the business because you're gonna be able to sell what you like, right? So when I share about the products, I say, you know, I've been in this business for a month now, and so far, one thing I can say for sure is the products are amazing, and I'm seeing results. And if you want to know, I can share it with you. Yeah, so that's just a few points that I wanted to add.
Frantically typing as you were talking there. One thing I can say for sure is the products are amazing and I've seen results. What was the end of that?
Yeah, and if you want to try it, like, here's my website, you can,
Right.
or I could send it to you or something like that. Depending on if they're here with me,
Right.
then like obviously I could, you can pick it up or I'll drop it to your house or something like that.
For you to try or something. Let's see. Would love for you to see for yourself. Something like that. I'm gonna save the chat after and just add some of these points to our scripts file and put a couple ideas together in the team chat for everybody else to use as well. And I'll share this recording in there also, just for those that missed out here. Hopefully they'll get value from this conversation. So yeah, that's great. Naima, was your hand was up from before, not you didn't.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll just put that down.
It's okay. So is there anything? I know it's kind of late there now to maybe do calls, right? We could use 10 minutes to send some messages out for those that send text messages, or if it's too late, we can just continue the conversation and just continue brainstorming, and then we have a good baseline to get the.
Yeah, can I add one?
Yes, please go. Go ahead, my dear.
Yeah, yeah. The other one was there was this lady I know. She bought a house, right? I was like, oh hi, with her name, how are you? How things going? And she was like, yeah, all good. And I was like, yeah, you bought a house, right? And she was like, yeah, I did. And it's like, oh wow, oh my, wow, that's so good. And she was like, yeah, I bought a house, but I sold out. And I was like, but why? And she was like, yeah, I bought another one. I was like, wow, you're so amazing. Oh my goodness. Like, how did you do that? I really don't know how you do that. Look, that's the reason, one of the reasons that I call you. Because you know how to buy one house and then sell it and then buy another one and do like, you know, like this house, like buying houses and selling and this and that. You know that. That's the reason I call you to share with you online business, and I know you can do, because I can see that you're very good with it, because you buying your house and selling it and then buying it again. Sorry, Steph, my daughter just wake up. So yeah, that's another point I was using for.
Yeah. And is that person, like, are they in real estate, or are they just like, are they a real estate agent, or are they just sold, like they're just their own personal property?
Personal property.
Okay. So yeah, so I think whatever their profession is, or whatever you're targeting, it's like how can you connect that to like how it works, you know, with the business, right? So the reason why I asked the question is real estate agents are, like, they tend to be, if you think of that as a profession, it's a very competitive. I know in Canada, it's like I know like 30 real estate agents personally, right? So it's like it's not an easy industry to thrive in, and it's anyways. So people that are real estate agents, and I know I'm getting off track from what you were saying, Hamdi, but people that are real estate agents, or you think of sales professionals, you think of people that work in these professions that require the hustle, right? That they're go-getter attitude. They're great people to target, you know, as far as a profession, because they already get the hustle. Like they already they're already doing that kind of work where it requires them to cold call and hit the pavement, right? And the advantage of, when we talk about targeting professions, I'll talk about real estate for a second. Real estate, there's no residual income in real estate, right? They have to keep selling houses in order to keep earning income. So it's something that they can add, that they can have part-time, that can work towards generating that residual income stream, which is something that they don't have. They a lot of them, if they're good at it, they make a lot of money, but it stops when they stop selling houses. So what happens, when they want to retire, right? And the other thing is, because they're already good networkers, they're already good at hitting the ground, like they can utilize their network that they have already to leverage for their other business. So just, I that thought came to my mind as you were talking about selling houses. And think about that, right? Think about the different professions that people have. Good people to, wow. And here's the other thing, right? When we're talking about professions, look at the industries that are suffering right now because of the lockdown, right? And this is not to say that it's not preying on people that are, are struggling. It's just, here's a solution for the fact, like, I'm sorry, like servers, bartenders, hotels, like look at these industries where the lockdown has impacted them directly. And sure, there may be, subsidies or things that come from the government, relief or whatever. We went through the same thing in Canada when we're opening up again. But look at those industries where people that work in those industries do not have income right now. Do you know people in these industries? Just say, hey, I know lockdown is like, it's tough, right? Like, I found something that you may be interested in. It's online. I've been doing this for the last month and it's, seen amazing results from whatever. Maybe it could be something for you, to do right now while we're, in lockdown, or that position it that way. Like, look, and again, it's a solution for them, right? I found something that could help you and your family in this challenging time that we're in right now. I know it's, it's probably not easy, with the lockdowns. And hey, if you're open, we have this event on Friday that I would love for you to come. Hey, just come take a look. See if it's for you, right? See if it's for you. It may or may not be for you, but just come and take a look, right? So that's the other thing you can think about is professions that are impacted. Everybody is affected by the lockdown, but there are certainly professions where people are, their job, like they're not working in their job right now, right? And just seeing if again, if they're open, if they want to take a look at something that's a little bit different, because it in this time, like the lockdown, this current lockdown, right, who knows what's going to happen. They're already talking about fourth wave and all this stuff, right? So the people that are go-getters, like they don't want to just sit and stay stagnant. Like they were going to look for something else. So we want to make sure that we're offering that something else for these people, right? I see a message there. Right. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Go ahead, Naima. Did you have something?
Oh, I was mean to write that on the public chat. So.
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, and again, it's not. We're not targeting. We're not like going after the people that are struggling. It's like you're focusing on the solution. Like, I have a solution. I have something that could help you in this time. At least, get you through. It's a really like position it that way, and just like we're people that care. Like we care about them, and you have something that they can do from home that will help them in their current situation. So, oh yeah, and then Hamdi, thank you. So with the marketing part, yeah, so with the lady that you were talking about selling your house, like, hey, I noticed that you sold your house, like, amazing job. And you're kind of you're paying a compliment, I think, is the biggest thing to take away from what Hamdi shared. When we're talking about how to approach people, we talked about with Jama, like, I value and respect your opinion, the other part of that is find a compliment. Is there something that they did that, you know, you can highlight, that you can identify? Like, hey, I noticed that you sold your house. Like, amazing job. You know, where did you learn how to, you know, do that marketing? You seem to be a marketing guru. You have the skills, right? I can see how this could be an asset with something that I do if you're open, right? And leading that in. So looking for something that you can bridge the gap based on what they do or what you've seen, or, you know, how they kind of present themselves. Sometimes when I'm out and about and I just see someone that just has confidence and they're well put together, I'll open a conversation like that. Like, hey, you look sharp. Like, can I just say that you know, you look really sharp and you hold yourself with such poise. Like, and I really admire that. And I'm always looking to work with people who have that kind of confidence. I would love to connect and, you know, have a conversation later, like whatever it is. But yes, complimenting people, and especially if you don't know someone really well, or you're meeting when you're meeting new people, networking, finding something to compliment them on is a great way to build that like and trust. And that, you know, and then you can, you know, make the connection and carry the conversation from there and build the relationship. Yeah, where did you learn from? Yeah, super smart. Yeah, so you're kind of you're giving them that compliment so that they feel good, and then again finding a way to bridge the gap. Like, you know, I can see that you are, you know, really good at marketing and you hold yourself, you know, exceptional well. I'm looking to work with people just like you that are, you know, go-getters, and I think you'll be interested in this event that we're having on Friday. Like, I think it's going to be right up your alley. I would love to have you there as my guest, right? Something like that. So this is awesome. We have some amazing ideas. Would you guys agree? For prospecting and inviting people here to the event and future events. So you can take these little scripts and you can customize them depending on the tour, depending on what event you're inviting them to. But whenever you have corporate or you have a special guest, it's like, you know, build a lot of excitement and you know, get as many people there as you can. And it's with special guests and special events, it's like, it's easy. Wow, we can treat every event like a special event, right? It's just in what we say and how we're edifying the guest. Doesn't matter who it is. If you know a couple things that you can say to edify who the guest is, then that's great. She was like, thank you for sharing, then send me the Zoom. Like, yes! So, right? So pay a compliment, bridge the gap, and invite, right? So absolutely. This has been an amazing call. Great strategy. Absolutely. I agree. Thank you all for your contributions. I think, Mohammed, I think you were the only one that we didn't hear from. Did you have anything you wanted to add to the conversation as far as like what has worked for you, or inviting strategies, or if you're just here taking notes, that's okay too. If there's anything else you want to share.
It's pretty much same. Just call them, and then I said, we have event coming up, and come and join us and listen together, see, we'll get ideas. It's a good business, you can do it, online business. And I know you know more than me for the business, and more people than me. So I'm doing 1 month something, and doing great now. So
Awesome.
tell us something like that. And
Awesome. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, the online business, right? So, you know, in the world we live, especially, again, not to take advantage of the fact that you're in lockdown, but like, hey, like the lockdown, like how's the lockdown treating you? Like, you know, I hope you and your family are well. You know, I know it's a challenging time. You know, in light of that, you know, I got going with this online business and I'm really excited, and it may be something that could be a fit for you. I would love for you to come and learn and hear more, right? speaking to the online business is an important part, because it doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter what the current situation is in the world. It's online. As long as you have internet, you're good to go. So highlighting that is a key also. And if people are in lockdown, then they're probably more likely to be at home, right, and have the time. So yeah, take advantage of that. And I trust and I know that you guys are going to pack the call. I'm going to try and get up to, I think it's 6:30 my time. And if I'm not mistaken, that one's being translated to Somali, right? Like it's English to Somali, is if we're translating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fry is translating the last part for Sanas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Translating the last part. Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm gonna compile the notes that we took here. I'll put the recording to YouTube and share it in the team chat, and that way, everyone who wasn't here can still benefit from this conversation, get some ideas. Hamdi, what do you mean by that? Can you explain a bit more?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, my daughter woke up and then I was putting her back to bed. Yeah, sometimes the way they respond back, it's really embarrassing. It's like, no, not really. That kind of business, no. I heard it from some other people. This business is really, it's rip off. It's this, it's that. Not something I would even recommend you to do. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And,
so this is sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please finish your thought.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, okay, so here's the other part of the conversation. Like we've talked about all the favorable outcomes where people are like, yeah, sure, send me the link, right? Those are all the positive ones, and when people say yes. The reality is, like, there's going to be people that say no, and it's okay. Like, our business is not for everybody, and I would rather someone say no than feel like they have to say yes when it's not for them anyways, because we don't want to waste our time and energy. You're also going to come across people that are negative or that have this anti-MLM or whatever mindset, or they make a decision without the information first, right? And so anytime someone says, oh yeah, someone already told me about that, well, like, oh, okay, well, have you taken the time to learn about it yourself, or are you just basing it off what you think you know, something like that, right? Try and understand, have they actually seen a presentation? Who did they hear it from? And how did they come to that conclusion? But at the end of the day, I would not spend a lot of time with people that respond like that. I would just say next. I would just be like, you know what? It doesn't sound like it's the right fit for you. If you know of anyone who would like to make some money online, please let me know. So sometimes, this works sometimes, when you take away what you're offering, sometimes their tune changes. It doesn't always work, but it also, that kind of response is a postured response. They are not the prize. What we have is the prize, right? So if your reaction to their negativity is that you don't care, and you're still asked for a referral, thanks anyways, it sounds like it's not for you, no problem, then move on, right? Don't feed into or feel like you have to defend it. Just postured response. It doesn't sound like this is for you. Move on. Or if someone says like, oh, I tried one of those things and it didn't work, I would try to understand what happened. It sounds like you've had a bad experience, right? It sounds like you've had, a bad experience. Or did you or someone that you know have a bad experience? Like, I'm sorry to hear that, right? What went wrong? And my goal of that kind of conversation, if it ever comes up, is not to convince them, like, to come. It's just to neutralize the negativity. Because at the end of the day, it usually is a case where people were not supported. Someone signed them up and just left them hanging there. They never learned how to do the business, so of course they didn't make money if they didn't learn how to do it properly, right? We are obviously different.
like
all of you know that, right? In the way we do things, we do pride ourselves in how we teach and train, and we care about people learning how to do this properly, because if we don't teach you how to do it properly, then no one's going to make money, right? So so anti-MLM, my goal with anti-MLM is just to neutralize the negativity. It's like to leave them with a kind of a positive taste in their mouth about me and what I do. And again, I'm not trying to convince anybody. I just say, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, like what happened, just to understand and to highlight how maybe we're different, so that they can see that maybe there's companies that do things differently, at least so they know, they have a little bit of knowledge. But don't spend a lot of time with people that are bashing it. Just move on to the next person. Don't try to convince.
Yeah, Steph, like example, last week we had a three-way call, right? And then there was this person were like, oh, I'm already with one of marketing online business in he was saying different name. And it was like everything is the same with All Plans Global, the way you guys saying, like explaining. But the thing, what they a bit different with is my online marketing, they telling me to do my shopping and bring all my shampoos and that. I have to buy everything every month and bring all that in my home. And it was like one of my rooms is full of the product that I bought. I went back home and I took 3 full bags of shampoo and so many other products he was talking about. One is that. The other one, he was like, I cannot transfer money from my shop to my personal account. If you guys show me an evidence that you transfer money from your shop to your personal account, I'll just join like that. And none of us we were both new, and I was like, oh, well, I haven't transferred money yet, but because I haven't made that much, whatever I made, I was just buying with my product. But I'm sure you can. And he was like, listen, but all I need is that evidence. I don't mind bringing all the product. My house is just a declaration everywhere, shampoos and that and this. But I just want to,
because the auto ship is Amway is. We could talk for another hour about objections and what comes up and what other company, the costs and comparison. At the end of the day, if you struggle with the 3-way call at a prospect and there's someone that's being a bit difficult, or they're asking for something, evidence or proof or whatever, like you escalate it up through your My5, like see if you can get them on the phone with somebody else. I'm not really clear on exactly what he was looking for, but at the end of the day, there are differences between the companies, and there's actually a resource, I don't know if it's totally current. Renee Liao used to have a website, I'm going to go look for it now, that did a comparison of compensation planning companies. Now it may be a bit dated because companies change compensation plans and stuff, but a lot of times, like there are a lot of differences between our compensation plan, which makes a huge impact in how much people earn. So one of the big things, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, I also see Nemo's hand, and then we'll get ready to close. One of the things is, just so you know, is like a couple things that are different. So the first one is like, our Smart Buy system allows for flexibility. So people are not having to receive physical products every single month if they don't want to. Now for you guys in Australia, it makes it, it's helpful to have products on hand. It's helpful to have things there. Even for me in Canada, I never want to be without products on hand, because if I'm talking to someone, I want to be able to get it in their hands immediately, not for them to have to wait. But it's not a requirement, right? They're not strict on it being a requirement. There's flexibility. Transferring money from e-wallet to personal account proof. Okay, so so he wants to see that people are actually making money. So what I would say is like, listen, I can introduce you to someone that I've been working, like I'm brand new, right? I'm just getting going. I've got big plans for what I'm going to do here. But the one thing I want to say, first of all, I can introduce you to someone who can validate that. I work with, you could say I work with a mentor. One of my mentors is, makes 5 figures a week after being in the business 3 years, right? Now, Ifra, we all know Ifra. She has a work ethic that no one else can really compare to, like, in my opinion.
What he meant, Steph, is he got his, the way he was explaining, he got 70,000 in his e-wallet, but he cannot transfer it to his personal account.
Oh. So
and he was like,
how does he make
in your online marketing? And we were like, yes, we can. And he was like, well, I need a proof.
I think there's a little video clip somewhere of like how to transfer money. We could show him that, like in terms of the system. So that's like, I don't want to spend too much time on that. I think we do have a video that we can probably share. If that's all he's asking for is like, how do you get your money from your e-wallet to your bank account? We have 2 methods. We have the Visa card transferring, and we have the iPayout system. So we have 2 systems that allows all of our global partners to do that. You choose which one you want, right? The other thing I would say though, just because this is another part of this objection, is people will sometimes, this is a good benefit for everybody, people will sometimes, say, well, how much money are you making, right? And in the beginning, we're not making a lot. Like, we're just getting going, right? I'm just getting going. I'm just starting. I have mentors that are doing this and that, whatever. But let me ask you a question. How does my success determine what you're going to do with this business? That's a question I would put back to them. Because, like, what I'm doing with the business does not mean that you're going to do the same thing, right? We have people that come in and hit the ground running and blow it out of the park. And then we have people that talk a big talk and do nothing. So which one are you? I always will put it back to them, right? Because then they get to make the decision for themselves, right? We have people that, make a few $100s a month. We have people that make 5 figures a week and multimillionaires. Like that, where you end up is determined by what you're willing to do in the business. It's not determined based on what I'm doing, right? So I always will deflect that back to them. It's like, well, hey, we have all scenarios, we have people that are just interested in making a few $100s a month. We have people that were able to leave their government job in 3 years and make 5 figures a week. Which, where do you lie in terms of like what your level of desire is? Because the system, the products, everything is the same for everybody. The only variable is the individual and what you choose to do with this information. My success does not determine what your success is going to be. And usually that kind of diffuses that. Especially and that's again postured, right? It's not like, oh, I don't know, like I'm not making money right now. It's, you put it back to them. Well, how much time are you willing to commit every week to your business? I can give you an indication of what you can, work towards based on how much time you're willing to invest. Right? So put it back to them. Naimo, I know you had your hand raised before. Did you have something else you wanted to share?
Because I know this is getting a bit long and it's only meant to be for 1 hour, but I don't want it to take too much time. But I had the same problem with few people, what Hamdi was saying. So they always bring up Herbalife. Oh, is this another Herbalife business? Like whenever you say, oh, it's an online business, they just like that say, oh, is this Herbalife? Because I did that and I didn't gain anything from that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so if they have that, so if someone says, I did Herbalife and I didn't get anything from it, I would ask them the question, what was it about Herbalife that didn't work for you? Like, can you explain a bit more? Because people, so here's the thing, in our industry, it's usually the people that don't make money, or it's usually because they actually haven't done the work. Let's just tell the truth, okay? But people are so quick, and that's not what you say to your prospect, right? But usually that is the underlying reason. Is they actually haven't done the work. They haven't treated it like a business. We've all been there, right? People, the promise of the industry is you can be a millionaire, but most people are not willing to actually do what it takes to earn that kind of income. So I would try to understand a bit more. Like, oh, tell me a little bit more about your experience. How long were you with them? Were you building part-time, full-time? Like, just ask them a couple more questions to find out what was it that didn't work. What did you try that didn't work? This is like I do other consulting and coaching, and that's a question I ask all business owners. What have you tried that hasn't worked? They say, oh, it didn't work. Okay, well, what did you try that didn't work? How many times did you try it? Usually, if they say, oh, I did that once, it didn't work. Well, sometimes you have to try things 5, 6, do things different ways in order to see results. It's not an overnight success, right? So I try to understand a bit more about what was their experience, and then from there, I mean, you could take the conversation in a different way. Just be like, listen, we have the same business. It is the same business model, but it is not by any stretch even comparable to Herbalife, and there's a number of reasons why. It doesn't sound, it sounds like you didn't have a great experience. And if you've been in the industry before, you can say, like, listen, I've been with a company before, and Herbalife or whatever company you're with before compared to Opulence Global is like night and day. I would love to share the differences with you, to share how we're different. If you're open to learning about how we're different and learning about something that is new in a lot of different ways, or stands out from other companies in a lot of different ways that I've never seen before. If you're open, I would love to share. If not, it's okay. It's okay. Like, again, we don't want to try and convince everybody, but the night and day, yes, right? It is like when people look at the differences, when they understand the differences, they see it. It just, again, you want to make sure that you're focusing on the people that are open. So first, understand what happened, what didn't go the way they wanted it to, and then another question would be, well, what do you feel like you could have needed to support you in Herbalife to have success that you didn't have? Find out what was missing, and then show how Opulence delivers that, and see if they're open. Apart from that, I wouldn't, again, just kind of try and neutralize them, but highlighting any differences if you can, and ask if they're open. Like, hey, I'm sorry it didn't work for you. This company's very, it's night and day. You might see that for yourself, just like I did. If you're open, I would love to have you as my guest. If not, it's okay. No worries. Move on. Is that helpful? People will often be quick to kind of paint, they paint all the companies as the same, right? It's like, oh, Herbalife, it's another one of those things. No, I'm good. Well, again, you're just trying to see, like, what happened for them, what was their experience, are they still open, like, and just share, like, this is something that is very different, and if you're open to taking a look, great. If not, don't worry about it. Move on. Yes, exactly.
No, that's absolutely great tips, Steph. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. It's a common objection, if you will, that you'll encounter. So again, remember, respond with posture. Opulence Global and what we have is the prize. Your prospect is not the prize. There's 7 billion people in the world, right? So if you know, if what you have is valuable and they're not seeing it and they're not open, that's okay. They're probably not the right person for the business, right? So when you respond with posture and you respond with like confidence, it's like, okay, sounds like it's not for you. So many times when I use that, they're like, well, hang on, what do you mean? Like, it changes their tune a little bit sometimes, or at least they're not like feeling chased, because a lot of companies and a lot of people are trained to just chase people, and we don't chase people here. So it's okay to say no and move on. So I hope that is helpful. And then and actually when you start responding with posture and you're like, oh, you know, thanks for your time, like it doesn't sound like it's for you, and you get in the habit of doing that, when people say no and when people are negative, it's a lot easier to roll them off, right? And this is especially important for our new team members. When you go through how to, you know, you do this enough times and you learn to deal with rejection and to just, you know, move on, it is it doesn't phase you as much. But for new partners, it can be discouraging. And so that's something to keep in mind for our new team members, and working with them and supporting them and teaching them how to respond with posture and not to chase people, because you're developing that resilience right away. And that's important when you're in business or anything. Not everyone has the same strong mindset to just be like, that's okay, see you later, you know, next. But learning that in the beginning is helpful. Learning that it's okay to say no, right? Like sometimes we get so excited and we want to just join everybody, and we have this expectation that everybody's going to, you know, attend the webinar and join our business. It's just not the reality of the situation. People will say no. We will encounter negative people. We will encounter, you know, anti-MLMers. Like, we'll see all kinds. And the more that you do this, the more people you call, the more people you message and reach out to, the more different scenarios you're going to come up against. And so hopefully some of these tips have empowered you how to have those postured responses and confidence in your response. Yes, Naimo. We're not here to chase people. It's an opportunity if it's for them. If not, it's okay, right? And if they say no before even taking a look, like, their loss, right? It's like, hey, I'm just asking you to come take a look. I'm not, you know, it's just information at this point, so you can make the decision that is best for you. I'm really excited about it. I want to share it with you. That's it, right? If you're not interested, that's okay too, but come and take a look. So awesome. So we went a little bit over, but I think this was a really good conversation, and I'm glad that we recorded it so we can share it for the benefit of everybody else. Thank you all for being here. Next week, I think I said in my voice message in the team chat, I'm gonna try to do my best to be with you guys every week. There will be a few times coming up where I, won't be able to, and I'll let you know. I would love to know. So next week I won't be, because I am with some family, but I would love to just kind of get a sense of like a plan for future Wednesdays. So if you guys want to talk amongst each other and map out, what topics you want to cover, it's always a little bit helpful for me to know in advance, just so I can prepare myself. If it's something that, like this prospecting, where it's a conversation, or the orientation, or training the tour, it's easy enough to do. But if there's other topics that you want to go into, or other type of workshops, we can map them out, or we can rotate the different topics and just go from there. So think about what topics you could benefit from, and what the next few Wednesdays, with the exception of next week, will look like, and then that way we can get a plan going, and get some more team members on here as well to benefit from these conversations. So thank you all for being here. I trust that Friday is going to be a massive success. I don't think, have you guys had any time with Sanaz yet? I think it's the first time, right? Not yet. Okay, so prepare to be blown away. She is a ball of energy too. So, you know, she is enthusiastic. She was, remember, she was in the field just like us. So she was a distributor. She was one of the top distributors when the company got going, and then Ramin brought her on corporate. So she also has the mindset, like she knows what it takes as a distributor too, because she's been in the field for many years. And she's just an amazing human being. So, you know, the more people you put in front of her on Friday, the better. So let that be the focus. I'll curate a little bit of a script and pop that in the chat as well as this recording. And I'm sure it'll be an amazing success. So, yay! I'm so glad you guys are all excited, and thank you for being here. And we will talk to you all soon.
All right. Thank you, Steph. Have a good
You're
one.
welcome.
Good night.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.